Let's review a quilt. What's going on, guys? My name is Dan. I love hiking and backpacking and gear. If you guys love that stuff too, just go ahead and subscribe to the channel right now. That's what this channel is all about. Today, we're gonna be just taking a quick look of the UGQ Bandit Quilt. I'm doing this in my backyard on my deck because it has been raining on and off, and I've come out like in between clouds, and I think I hear rain. It's raining. I gotta pause. It's raining. It's starting to rain. Okay, I'm back. It's definitely gonna rain, so we're just gonna go for it. I'll give you some initial impressions of what I think of this quilt. I'm gonna tell you everything I love about the quilt. I'm gonna tell you everything I don't love about the quilt. I was not paid in any way to make this review whatsoever. I was sent this quilt for free by them. They reached out to me, asked me if I wanted to review their quilt. I said, yeah, I'd love to. This is the first product I've ever owned by them at all. See, did you see that? Did you see that? It's raining on this quilt. So what I'm gonna do today is kind of walk you through some of the specs, some of the details, tell you what I love, what I don't love, and just kind of give you my initial impressions. I did spend 2 nights in this quilt. I tested it down to the low 30s. It's a 20-degree quilt, my particular version. You can get 6 different temperature versions, but I'll kind of walk you through it. So let's get started. So if you don't know much about Underground Quilts, UGQ, they were founded in 2011. They're a super small company, a cottage vendor. I think they've got like maybe 7 or 8 employees total. It's a small shop. They're extremely custom. And if you guys want customization on your gear, if you guys love just personalizing your gear, that kind of thing, I would tell you, don't even look at another quilt company because no one is going to even come close to doing what these guys can do to custom quilts. They have over 1,500 colors and patterns available for your quilt. If you can't find a quilt that you think looks nice there, you got a problem. Also, I want to just tell you that I own a lot of quilts. I own quilts from War Bonnet. I own quilts from Hammock Gear. I own quilts from Enlightened Equipment. I own quilts from Outdoor Vitals. I've got the Costco quilt, and now I have the Underground Quilts quilt. So I do know a little bit of something about quilts, and I do have a lot of experience with other manufacturers as well. So I'm going to give you my honest opinion of what I think of these guys, what I think of this quilt, and I'm going to just tell you straight up whether I think you should get this quilt or not, and what I would do if I were you and you're looking for a quilt. But I got to do it quick because it's literally raining on the quilt as we speak. I got a tree overhead, so that's kind of helping. It's kind of helping a little bit, but it's still dripping. So the quilt that I have in front of me is an 850 fill power quilt. It's 78 inches long and it is 55 inches wide. I got the non-tapered version. Basically what that means is when you're laying in your quilt, they can taper the ends before you zip up the end of the quilt, and it kind of makes it smaller around your feet. And you know, really, I think there's no reason to do that other than just to save weight on the quilt. I like to move around a little bit. I roll around a little bit, so I like the non-tapered version, and it still zips up nice and small towards the end, but it's a little bit more room for me to kind of move my feet, and I don't feel as constricted inside the quilt. The top fabric on the quilt is a 20 denier polyester micro ripstop outer shell, and it does have a water repellent finish on it. And I am noticing that the water, when it hits it, is beating up, actually. Even when I kind of move my finger on it. It does soak in a little bit, but it's not too bad. The inside fabric is a 10 denier nylon taffeta inner shell. Am I saying that right? Taffeta? 10 denier nylon taffeta inner shell. They offer 6 temperature ratings. So you'll definitely be able to find something that's going to suit your needs. Now, if you're like a super extreme mountaineering guy and you're going to go in like negative 30-degree weather, this is probably not the company for you. But if you're general hammock camping, tent camping, you're getting out there just having a great time, you're through hiking, that kind of thing, I would definitely consider. They do offer a limited lifetime warranty on their quilt, which I think is pretty cool. I don't know that any other manufacturer is doing that. If I'm wrong on that, I'm sure somebody's going to let me know in the comments. And all of the down is responsibly harvested down. So the temperature rating that I chose is 20 degrees, and the reason I do that is because I think it's the most versatile temperature. It's definitely something I could use in the summer if I wanted to, because it's a quilt, so I can kind of open it up and kind of release that heat, and I won't be as sweaty. Or in the winter time, I can get down to about 30 degrees and still stay warm. My absolute favorite part about this quilt is the drawstring around the neck here. Most manufacturers, as a matter of fact, every other manufacturer that I have, and maybe some of them are changing now, and you guys can let me know in the comments below, they put that drawstring, the pull, when you're laying on it at night, it's going to lay on you like this. You're going to button the top. It's going to go around your head. And there's straps here. When you pull on it, it's going to cinch up around your neck. Other manufacturers put that drawstring right here in the middle. So when you're sleeping at night, the thing is like dangling and poking you in the face, and it drives me nuts all night long. So honestly, the very first thing that I noticed was that their drawstring is on the two ends. So when you pull it, it's completely out of the way. It doesn't get in your way whatsoever. It's not going to drag on your face at all. This particular quilt came with a draft collar. All it is just extra puff. It's kind of like the stuffed crust pizza, all right? And it just kind of wraps around your neck, and it keeps that draft from coming and escaping out. Just makes it a little bit more cozy. Is it a deal breaker? Not really. The baffles on this are not sewn through at all. So the down stays level throughout the entire quilt. And the baffles are sewn the length of the quilt, as you can see, which I think is great, because when the baffles are sewn the width of the quilt, down will drape around the sides of you where it's not providing good insulation, so you will get colder. You can get these things super customizable. I chose to have mine not sewn, and I chose to have mine as a zippered end. So on the foot box here, you're just gonna zip up the bottom portion here. It goes up maybe to your calves, right below your knees, somewhere about that long. And then at the bottom here, it has another piece of cord. This is not shock cord, it's just stiff cord, regular cord. It pulls on it, and then it's got these two tighteners here, and then it's got just kind of a nice foot box. And this is obviously upside down. When it's on top of you, it's going to look like this, and it's going to lay over the top of you. I thought that they definitely provided enough down. I think the temperature rating was sufficient. I did not notice anything that wasn't sewn inaccurately. I think every inch of this thing is really, really well made. All right, I'm going to tell you now the stuff that I don't like about this quilt. The baffles on the foot box are the way I don't like them necessarily. Do I think the down is going to roll off to the side? Possibly. Did I experience that? No, I did not. Over weeks and weeks and weeks of use, if you're through hiking, would that happen? Maybe, I don't know. But I do know other manufacturers that build their baffle system a little bit differently to kind of combat that. So that could be a negative, but for me, it's really not that big of a deal. And then the only other negative, honestly, about this quilt is on the foot box here, you're gonna see a small hole when you cinch this thing up. However, I have not seen a single manufacturer out there that did not have a small hole here. And how you get past that, or at least how I get past that, a little tip for you guys is, at night, what I do is I just stick a sock in here, and that really solves that problem. But manufacturers, if you're listening, you'd make me a happy guy if you could figure out how to cinch this up so we don't have to deal with that hole down there. I think that'd be a definite win for quilt manufacturers. So the MSRP on the setup that I have configured here is $289.95, which is, I think, a pretty good deal for this setup. It's wider than my other quilts. It's longer than some of my other quilts. It has the zippered end. It has the draft collar on here. So there are definitely things that I added. And there are other manufacturers that you're going to go out and you're going to get the exact same specs, and you're going to end up paying more for it. All right, so what are my final thoughts on this thing? Would I have bought this thing with my own money? Would I buy another one of these if I was put in a situation where I was out looking for a quilt? Would this be my go-to manufacturer? I will tell you absolutely 100% yes. This would definitely be my go-to manufacturer for a couple reasons. One, it's extremely well made. Two, it's extremely customizable, and I get really finicky, especially when I'm sleeping. If you guys watch my other videos, I love 2 pillows, I like thick, wide pads, and I like my quilt to be a certain way to make sure I stay warm. All right, guys, so that's my review of the UGQ Bandit Quilt. If you like this video, please make sure you hit that like button. Also, subscribe for more, and do quick, because it's about to really start raining, and I will see you on the next one.